Dear students, now we are going to see and discuss biological nitrogen fixation. Biological nitrogen fixation, mechanism of biological nitrogen fixation performed by certain number of prokaryotes. So eukaryotes are not able to utilize, not able to reduce gaseous form of nitrogen into ammonia or NO3 minus or NO2 minus. Only certain number of prokaryotes, only prokaryotes and a certain number of prokaryotes only able to absorb and able to perform nitrogen fixation. Reason they are with nitrogen fixing genes. Nitrogen fixing genes. So now what about biological nitrogen fixers? Biological nitrogen fixation is performed by certain number of prokaryotes only, not all prokaryotes. So it is performed by nitrogen fixation, N2 fixation naturally. Is by certain number of prokaryotes. Reason is they are with, means certain number of prokaryotes. They are with NIF genes, nitrogen fixing genes, NIF, nitrogen fixing genes. They code for, that gene code for an enzyme that is a nitrogenase. Nitrogenase. Our latest one, dinitrogenase. Nitrogenase or dinitrogenase. So only certain number of prokaryotes are having NIF genes. So that's why they are able to produce nitrogenase enzyme. This is also called as a dinitrogenase. So N triple bond N is reduced into ammonia. So here reaction is a reduction. In this case, reduction. Biological nitrogen fixation, always reduction of gaseous form of nitrogen into ammonia, ammonia only, but not NO2 and NO3. So here enzyme required is a nitrogenase. Okay, so those which are able to perform this type of nitrogen fixation, biological nitrogen fixers, biological N2 fixers called as diazotrophs. Diazotrophs. Di means to, azo means nitrogen. Atom 1, atom 2. Two atoms in one molecule. Diazotrophy. Biological nitrogen fixation. Diazotrophs. Diazotrophs. And that fixation is called as a diazotrophy. Diazotrophy. trophy. Diazotrophs are trophers. Okay, so that is about biological nitrogen fixation by certain number of so-called prokaryotes because of nitrogenase. So on the basis of whether they are associated or free living, how they are fixing nitrogen in symbiotic association or non-symbiotic association. So we classified biological nitrogen fixers. So they are of how many types? 2 categories. What are they? 1, free living or non-symbiotic. Non-symbiotic N2 fixers. Non-symbiotic N2 fixers. So without symbiotic association, they are able to perform nitrogen fixation. Non-symbiotic N2 fixers. Non-symbiotic. Without symbiotic association, they are able to perform nitrogen fixation. What are they? Azotobacter, Azospirillum azotobacter. Azotobacter. Next. Bizernichia. Bizernichia. So these two are free living and aerobic. Free living without any symbiotic association, and the type of respiration is aerobic. Free living and aerobic. And one more, Rhodospirillum. Rhodospirillum is, this is also free living. Free living, photosynthetic, and anaerobic. Anaerobic, non-symbiotic N2 fixers. Okay, so these examples. Azospirillum also. These are obligate non-symbiotic N2 fixers. Obligate. Only non-symbiotically they are able to cover. No symbiosis. There is no symbiosis. And symbiosis is not required for these bacteria to perform nitrogen fixation. Next, Anabaena and all these Azotobacter, Bizernichia, Rhodospirillum are bacteria. Next, Anabaena, and Nostoc. Anabaena and Nostoc. Anabaena, Nostoc. Cyanobacteria, blue-green algal members. Blue-green algae, cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria. They are photoautotrophs, photosynthetic. Oxygenic photosynthesis. Photosynthetic. Oxygenic. Out of all monorames, prokaryotes, the oxygenic photosynthesis is present in blue-green algae. Anabina and nostoc are facultative N2 fixers. Facultative N2 fixers means they come under both non-symbiotic and symbiotic. Next, second example, symbiotic. Okay, so this type of prokaryotes are able to perform nitrogen fixation in symbiotic association. If they are inside the host, they are able to perform nitrogen fixation. If you go back to gymnosperms, Anabina nostoc, present in Cycas coralloid roots, Corallorhiza. So what about the symbiotic N2 fixers? Rhizobium in the root nodules, a bacterium, rhizobium. Rhizobium is a bacterium, prokaryote. In the case of legume roots, root nodules of legumes. Root nodules of legumes. Leguminosae family members. Next, Frankia. Frankia is actinomycetes. Actinomycetes. Frankia. That is in the case of roots of root nodules. Root nodules of non-legume plant. It is not a legume plant. Non-legume plant, that is non-legume plant. Parasponia, Alnus. Go for Alnus. Alnus is a non-legume plant. So in the roots of Alnus, root nodules are formed by Frankia. So these two are obligate, Rhizobium and Frankia are obligate symbiotic fixers. Obligate means here symbiotic association is mandatory to perform nitrogen fixation. Obligate, compulsory. Host is mandatory. So these two are obligate, compulsory, obligate symbiosis, obligate symbiotic N2 fixers. And what about Anabina and nostoc? They come under both the categories. Anabina and nostoc. They're given. Anabina and nostoc. If you go back to biofertilizers under the heading microbes in human welfare, it was given Oscillatoria. So Oscillatoria is Oscillatoria also. That is a cyanobacteria, blue-green algal member, free-living N2 fixer, no symbiotic association. Oscillatoria, non-symbiotic, always only non-symbiotic. But Anabina, symbiotically possible, non-symbiotically possible, both the categories. So that's about the classification of biological nitrogen fixers. So in our textbook, out of all biological nitrogen fixers, the mechanism of biological nitrogen fixation in the case of root nodules of legumes was given. Now, what about mechanism of biological nitrogen fixation in root nodules of legume plants? biological N2 fixation in legumes. Fabaceae family members. Okay, so rhizobium is symbiont, endosymbiont, intracellular symbiont. So we can observe, we can identify root nodules on the legume root if the legume plant is taken out from the soil just before flowering. After flowering, definitely they will disappear. So to identify the presence of root nodules on root system of legume plants, we have to exterminate, take out the plant along with root system just before flowering. Then only we can see that one. And if you observe the anatomy of that legume plant with root nodules, definitely we'll trace out the red colored, pink colored central portion. The pink or red colored portion at the center of a legume root is because of leg hemoglobin or hemoglobin, a pigment, proteinaceous one that is able to impart a red or pink color to the root system. And that leg hemoglobin is produced by host in response to rhizobial bacterial cells. We'll see what is that one again. So here, before moving into mechanism of nitrogen fixation in legume plants, we have to study what about the nodule formation, root nodule formation. What is nodule? A spherical shaped outgrowth, root nodule formation. Root nodule formation in legumes. Nodule means a spherical shaped outgrowth. So for example, this is a transverse section of root epidermis, certain number of epidermal cells. So from the root epidermis, certain number of cells are involved in the formation of epidermal air. That epidermal air is root air. That is the root air. Okay, so this is a cell wall. The blue colored one, take that one as the cell wall. Okay, cell wall and a plasma membrane. So this is a root air. Host root air. Origin of root air is epidermal, exogenous in origin, living cell with centrally located vacuole. So here, so-called root system, host is able to produce food material, amino acids, flavonoids, and other food materials to attract rhizobial bacterial cells. For example, here, rhizobium. So rhizobium is basically free living one before symbiosis, and that is a bacillus. Bacillus. Okay, so bacilli, rod-shaped one. So now compatible rhizobial cells are attracted rhizobium towards food. Food is completely around the root hair. Okay, so now they're approaching the root hair. Once they approach the root, they make contact with the root. So after making contact, increase in the population of bacterial cells, a number of bacterial cells multiplied around the root hair. Okay, so many compatible bacteria reaching the surface area of a susceptible root hair. After making contact with root hair, they multiply and they cause curling of a root hair. So root hair is curled. So this is root hair, curled root hair. Root hair is curled, curling of root hair. This root hair is curled by curling factor. Curling factor is produced by bacteria. Rhizobial cells are able to produce a curling factor. Curling means it is a folded little bit, folding. The tip part is folded, curved. The curved nature is because of a curling factor produced by bacteria. So this is a curling of a root hair. It looks like a shepherd's stick. Okay, shepherd's hook. Okay, so curved hockey bat like, curved one like this. Right? So because of curling factor, root hair is curled. Next. Now bacteria. These are the bacterial cells. Now they are going to invade the, already invasion started externally, now internally. So first dissolution of a cell wall. Cell wall of host root hair dissolved. Okay, so after dissolution of a cell wall, now bacteria approaching the membrane. So once cell wall is dissolved, root hair growth is stopped. Root hair growth ceasing, stopped. Reason, the cell wall breached, damaged. Okay, so little bit invasion, started not attacking. Now bacteria started attacking, so-called host root hair. So now it leads to what? Invagination of plasma membrane. Now cell membrane is invaginated. What is invagination? Inward folding. Folded. That invagination of membrane. This invagination means folding towards inside. Folding towards inside. So invagination. Invagination of plasma membrane. Invagination, intracytoplasmic folding, and that is with the invading bacteria. Now bacteria entered into that invagination. Invading bacteria, attacking bacteria. So now this invagination is called as infection thread. Infection thread. Infection thread. What is the purpose of this infection thread? Transportation of invading bacteria into cortex. Transportation of those bacteria into cortex, innermost cortex, inner layers of cortex, innermost part of cortex. Okay, so once they reach a cortex, they produce hormones. So now dissolution of infection thread. Now release of those bacteria into, particularly into cortical cells. Cortical cell. So now they are inside the cortical cell. Many bacteria into many cortical cells. Now bacteria are able to produce growth hormones that leads to what? Cell division, mitosis, and formation of a number of host cells within the cortex. Within the cortex, not only cortical cells, division is in the case of a cortex, innermost cortex plus pericycle also. Pericycle and inner cortical cells are involved in excessive cell division. Excessive cell division leads to what? For example, this is a taproot. That is with a taproot. Okay, so nodules are produced. Nodules. These are the nodules. Root nodule. Root nodules. Inside the cortical cell. What about inside the cortical cell? All these bacteria are called as bacteroids. 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 Given statement in the textbook. Once these bacteria are present in the cortical cells or root nodule, they are morphologically changed into bacillus, rod-shaped bacteroids. Rod-shaped bacteroids. Actually, before the entry of a so-called rhizobium into the host, the shape of rhizobium is a bacillus rod-shaped. Once that is inside the host, that is changed into morphologically coccoid, spherical-shaped bacteria. But in the textbook given one, once rhizobia are available within the host, they are morphologically changed into rod-shaped bacteroids. Go according to NCERT textbook. Rod-shaped, bacillus-shaped bacteroids. So after formation of a nodule, vascular connection is established between root nodule and host root for transportation of various materials in between bacteroids and host. So there is about a formation of root nodule. So what are the steps present in root nodule formation? Initially, root system is able to release food material, amino acids, flavonoids, and other carbohydrates into the soil to attract rhizobial bacterial cells. Attracted, susceptible, compatible rhizobial bacterial cells approach the root hair. Approaching the root hair means that root hair is susceptible. Susceptible means not giving resistance, easy to attack. So now all these bacterial cells colonize, occupy the surface area where they replicate. And they cause a curling of a root hair. After that, dissolution of cell wall and formation of infection thread and transportation of rhizobial bacterial cells into the cortical cells, pericycle cells, particularly cortical cells, with the help of infection thread. What is that infection thread? Invagination of a cell membrane of root hair of that host. Invagination, intracytoplasmic folding. Invagination of or folding of cell membrane. Purpose for the transportation of rhizobial bacterial cells into cortex. So once bacteria are present in that invagination, that is called as infection thread. So final destination of that infection thread is into cortical cells. So now bacterial cells are discharged into cortical cytoplasm. Now they undergo repeated mitotic division by themselves, in them also. At the same time, they cause cell division in the case of cortical cells and pericycle cells. So that leads to what? Formation of outgrowth, a tumor-like structure. So that outgrowth is called as root nodule. And ultimately, vascular connection is established between root nodule and host. And the given statement. Once rhizobia are present in the host, they are morphologically changed into rod-shaped, bacillus-shaped bacteroids was given. And very, very important thing, rhizobia are endosymbionts, intracellular symbionts. into the cell. Symbiosis. Symbiotically, they are able to survive, able to live inside the cytoplasm of cortical cells or host cells, not intracellular. It is a endosymbiont, particularly out of that endosymbiont, intracellular symbiont, inside the host cell that is able to survive. So that is about a root nodule formation. Now, what about mechanism of nitrogen fixation? Here, very, very important thing is, what are the host root regions or zones involved in the formation of a root nodule? Cortex and pericycle, both are involved. Okay, so now before moving into mechanism of nitrogen fixation, you should know what about the enzyme. Enzyme concerned with biological nitrogen fixation. Enzyme is a nitrogenase or dinitrogenase. Chemically, what is a nitrogenase? This is very, very important. Nitrogenase is, this is enzyme. This enzyme is, it is not a simple enzyme. It is a compound enzyme. Compound enzyme. We'll see this one at the time of enzymes. Compound enzyme. Compound or holo enzyme or conjugate enzyme. Conjugate enzyme. Metalloenzyme. Conjugate enzyme. Okay, so this is not a simple enzyme. So in this enzyme, protein part, this protein part is apoenzyme, proteinaceous part, organic part, protein part, and remaining part, non-protein part. That non-protein part is with molybdenum iron. So this one is a cofactor. What type of cofactor? Inorganic cofactor. If you go back to mineral nutrition, there we studied cofactors. Metals are able to function as cofactors to increase catalytic activity of enzyme. So this is a metalloenzyme. Metalloenzyme. Again, I will explain you this one at the time of enzymes. Okay, so this enzyme is sensitive to. This enzyme is sensitive to oxygen. Oxygen is able to inhibit the activity of nitrogenase. So sensitive to oxygen. Oxygen is able to damage nitrogenase. Okay, so that nitrogenase is non-functional in rhizobium. Before symbiosis. So in free living condition, nitrogenase is produced, but that is non-functional. So non-functional nitrogenase is present in rhizobium, which is in free living condition. So why do that enzyme is non-functional? The reason is oxygen. So here rhizobium is able to perform aerobic respiration. Basically, it is a aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration means oxygen is mandatory. In the presence of oxygen, what about this enzyme? Non-functional. So enzyme in free living condition is able to produce this enzyme, but that enzyme is non-functional. So that's why under free living conditions, rhizobium is not able to perform nitrogen fixation. Same enzyme, nitrogenase, is functional, able to perform nitrogen fixation in rhizobium if it is in the host, in the concerned host. Symbiotically, if it is in symbiotic condition, it is able to perform nitrogen fixation. Reason: one, once rhizobium is inside the host, what about the type of respiration? Aerobic. So inside the host, rhizobium with anaerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration turned into anaerobic. Plus leg hemoglobin is oxygen scavenger. Means that is able to absorb oxygen. So here that enzyme, dinitrogenase enzyme present in rhizobium of root nodules, is protected from oxygen by two things. One, changing aerobic condition to anaerobic condition by rhizobial bacterial cells. And also leg hemoglobin is able to absorb oxygen in the area where rhizobium is surviving. Okay. So that's about a catalytic activity of a dinitrogenase enzyme. So this enzyme is sensitive to oxygen. And this enzyme is produced in the rhizobium in free living condition, in symbiotic condition. If it is in free living condition, that is not able to perform nitrogen fixation. Reason: rhizobium is aerobe and there is no leg hemoglobin to save it. Once inside the host, what about the type of respiration of rhizobium? Anaerobic. And what about the role of leg hemoglobin? Able to absorb, scavenger, able to absorb oxygen. So leg hemoglobin is produced by host in response to bacterial infection. Actually produced by host if bacteria are inside the host. Otherwise, no leg hemoglobin. If rhizobium is outside the nodule, there is no formation of leg hemoglobin. So leg hemoglobin is produced by host in response to the infection caused by or entry of rhizobial bacterial cells. So here, dinitrogenase is not simple enzyme, conjugate enzyme. Conjugate means it's a compound. Two zones are present, two parts are present. For example, one is a protein part, non-protein part. Protein part, apoenzyme. Non-protein part is a cofactor. That cofactor is a metal. Two types of them. What are they? Molybdenum, iron. So here, that non-protein part, cofactor, metallic part, able to accelerate the rate of the reaction catalyzed by apoenzyme. So that is about a nitrogenase enzyme.